The most successful folks and the folks you want to surround yourself with have a lot of battle scars from work experience. Difficult times where they bled a little, but they survived and they figured it out. I would say go self-inflict yourself with those battle scars as you're coming up through your career, and challenge yourself. Because one, it gets you noticed. Two, it broadens your knowledge base and stuff. And three, it creates confidence in your own mind, because the key to being successful is
You've seen a lot of bank closures and industry shifts. How do you navigate challenges when banks close, or what strategies have you seen fruitful of that?
Yeah, beneficially, but I was a banker before I got into the credit union space. So I was in the banking industry for 20 some years and saw a great deal of bank failure and closures and experienced several different institutions, and they all have their own culture, right? So the nice thing of that was to try to, when we got here, pick the good things from each one and then scrape off the bad stuff and then build something around that. I think that looking forward, having that people, yourself and people, and you're looking forward to predict. Okay, so today's today, right? What's it going to be like a year from now, 2 years from now? What's going on around you? So being really aware about what's happening in the market, and not just being caught up in kind of the herd thinking. Oh, everybody else thinks this. Hey, the Fed's going to cut rates tomorrow, and okay, the Fed's going to cut rates. And challenge that with your own experiences and your own level of thought. And of course, if you got a nice diverse group of people, then you got a lot of different thoughts that you then can pull together and come up with what do you believe is the best route.
Yeah.
But I do think looking forward and then trying to plan for what the troubles you could have in the future is the right way to go with that. Sometimes it's unavoidable, right? So some of those bank failures, whoever was running those, whoever made decisions, they just couldn't avoid that. But most of the time, if you're looking at it from a big picture and you're trying to understand all the different elements that are impacting what you might do, you navigate your place. And you're gonna have hard times, but it doesn't mean you fail or you have to get merged or bought or whatever.
Yeah. And do you think some of that has anything to do with banks pulling back on lending? Well, especially like commercial.
Well, so I think that the economy required everybody to rethink about their lending side. It's a tough time to be in the banking, financial services, credit union business, just because interest rates are high. So many of the people that you lend money to are struggling. With our member base being low mod and blue collar. Our folks have been in a recession for a long time. They've been out of money for a long time, and so, and food costs more, gas moderate a little bit. Insurance, I don't know if you pay insurance on your car right now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the real world, bro, if you aren't. But, just all of those things are going up. It makes it hard for people to get by. And so I think that, in fairness to any and all banks, you got to look at what's the risk associated with so all our money is our members' money. So, all we have is what they've deposited with us to go lend out. So we have a large fiduciary responsibility about lending that well. Now, we lend deeper than most, which means we'll lend with folks that have, more challenged credit and financial situations than a lot of institutions do. But that's why we were built, so we believe that's our mission. And so we do some of that. But, right now it's tough times. The regulating, bodies that overlook the financial institution are requiring greater capital for the bigger banks and things that way. The CFPB, if you're aware, they're the big regulatory, stick in the market right now. They're the one whacking everybody, and so, I think as all that lays on to banks and credit unions, they probably rightfully so, are getting a little more conservative with what's going on because it's harder to make money right now. And so, their ultimate requirement is to maintain capital and be secure for all those bosses.
And another part of leadership is also making tough decisions. Can you share an example of a difficult decision you've had to make, whether here or just personally?
So, everybody makes hard decisions. It might get amplified when you run a big company or you do something. But I think one in that is always being empathetic to, whoever that decision's going to impact. But thinking it through and then weighing your options, because it's never going to be clear. It's almost rarely that it's just a perfect decision. Oh, yeah, that's absolutely the absolute question. We have no question about it, 100%. Very few of those. But so like for us, we own the property next to us. So prior to COVID, this building would be just crammed with people. And so we knew we had to get bigger. And so we had just, purchased the property behind us and gone through the permitting process to build another building of basically this size right next to us. And then all of a sudden Macy's, goes out of business, decides they're going to shut down that building. And so, that opportunity come to us. And so all that time investment and being on the campus and all the neighbors that we had dealt with and the city had been deeply involved in all that stuff. That's a hard decision to decide, we appreciate everybody's work on all of that, and thank you. And we were going to put a stoplight up there for the city, all that stuff, but we're not going to do that now. We're going to buy the Macy's building and reuse it. So that's a tough one. And to get to that, you got all the people you value their opinions, that you trust in that group to contribute to it, to come up with it. So that was a tough one.
At Truliant, we're with you at every milestone, and your brightest dreams never have to fade. At Truliant, we help you shine. That's brighter banking. Truliant Federal Credit Union.
Yeah. When you do make tough decisions, how do you evaluate the difference between like innovation and risk taking?
Well, so innovation is risk taking, right? But I think that is how do you weigh that against what's the outcome? So like for us competitively, we believe for the long term, as a credit union or other financial institutions, our competition is China, WhatsApp, SoFi, maybe Chase, Ally, Capital One, because everybody like yourself, native digital natives, right? Everything you do is on your phone, right? You might do a little online banking, but for the most part, you want to transact everything you do on the phone. And so that's where the world's going to live as your generations take over and my generation retires and goes away, right? And so we recognize that, we're going to have to be highly digitally competent. And so, the risk in it is, hey, you have to innovate. But it is trying to make the best due diligence around who is it you're going to partner with, what are you going to invest that money in to improve that experience so that ultimately you can attract, a greater audience to do business with you.
Yeah. And reflecting on your journey from starting out in management training to becoming the president of Truliant Bank, what advice would you offer to aspiring leaders in the banking industry?
Oh, yeah. So the first thing I tell anybody, and I do, so we have a new hire class, when we're bringing in new employees, and so I'll go speak with them, and so you're getting ready to get the speech. But there's, be present in the job that you have at the moment, right? So if you're an aspirer and you want to, I want to climb the ladder, which we all, everybody wants to improve their financial life and take care of their everybody they're responsible for more stuff. But from my experiences, give 120% of the job you have right now, right? Go give all you got to that and be focused on it and not worried about what other people are doing, or why they got it and you don't, all those kind of things. And then take on the challenges nobody else brings. So one thing, I was always the guy or girl that was like, if somebody, y'all don't want to do it, I'll do it. Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but I'll figure it out. I got it. And so I was, so what it did was it broadened my experiences, my knowledge base. And so then, when you run into difficulties, you got far more to fall back on to figure out how to get through. But, I'm a big believer that the most successful folks and the folks you want to surround yourself with have a lot of battle scars from work experience.
Yeah.
Difficult times where they bled a little, but they survived and they figured it out. And so to me, I would say go self-inflict yourself with those battle scars as you're coming up through your career and challenge yourself. Because one, it gets you noticed. Two, it broadens your your knowledge base and stuff, and 3, it creates confidence in your own mind, because the key to being successful is you're confident that you can succeed. So there's my recommendation: is keep your head down, work really hard, take on the really tough stuff. Don't shy away from stuff you don't know. Just go figure it out, and then try to build a big war chest of experience, because it'll serve you really well when you get further in your career and it all starts hitting the fan, which it does. Always, it's yes.
Yeah, positive mindset and just thinking that you can do it. Like you said, that's definitely a big one for me. I do a lot of cold calling for work right now, just starting out, and there's some days where I say in my mind, oh, I'm not going to get anybody today, but one. And it's that mindset. It's having, because this morning, I woke up, I was on my way here, and I was like, that's what I was thinking yesterday. I was like, what, I'm going to do cold calling today, and I'm going to speak to at least one owner who's going to be interested in buying or selling.
Yeah, I think you got it right, and then try to build in your own mind those days you have success, and what you'll find is you went into that day with the right attitude. So, you could just say, all right, to be successful, I got to have the right attitude. Just whatever music you got to listen to, in the morning. I'm sure you don't drink coffee yet, right? You drink some Monster or something like that. Right? Good for you. But, I just start to build that little catalog of, hey, what does it take for me to be successful in my cold calls? It was this. It was preparation. Be honest, one is being a chameleon, right? So you got to understand, okay, who's your audience? So when they answer the telephone, you got to be reading exactly what's going on and try to picture what that is, so that you can navigate what it is you're going to say, or how are you going to be more empathetic and let them talk first to build some rapport, whatever it might be. So that's good.
I try to get better at that. There's times where I'll talk to someone for like 40 minutes, and sometimes nothing even ends up happening of it. And I'm like, you know what, that's fine, because I needed to hear what they were saying, and they needed to talk, and I was like, that's good, that's fine.
Yeah, good.
So I'm trying to work through that. But I wanna thank you. I wanna express my gratitude for your willingness to share your time and experiences with us.
My pleasure. Yeah, it was a great time. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. You're a leader, businessman, and an inspiration to us all.
Oh, well, thank you. Be a little kind with all that. But I'll take it. I appreciate it. I'll take it. That's a good deal. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.